All right. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. This is Miss Leslie and Miss Margaret, and we are here to review week number 2 of matrices. This should be pretty quick, just like yesterday's was pretty quick. Hopefully this gives you a nice review of what we covered during our second week of matrices. Yeah, I'll turn it over to Miss Margaret so she can go through notes with you guys.
Yeah. So today we're just going to talk really quick about identity matrices, inverse matrices, and then solving equations. I also don't have any really examples for you guys today. Like yesterday, if you want more examples, feel free to check out the other videos. This was the week that we talked about calculator stuff. And unless you're doing the 3x3 inverse matrices, I kind of want you to do these by hand anyways. So I'm going to kind of give you a couple reminders on calculator stuff, but I'm not really going to talk about it because I feel like it's helpful when you have the application open. So if you want a calculator recap, feel free to watch the video. That being said, let's talk really quick about identity matrices and then we will move on. Okay, so remember that our identity matrix is a square matrix. And it has ones along the diagonal and then zeros everywhere else. So ones on diagonal and zeros everywhere else. So it should look like this. So if you have a 3x3 matrix, it will be 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1. If you have a 2x2, it'll just it'll be like this. And if you have a 1x1, it'll be like this. And that is your identity matrix. Remember that this kind of acts like one when we are solving equations. It kind of acts like one. And it's useful when we're checking for inverse matrices. So a couple properties that we have with this one is if we have matrix A, we have A times I, and that equals matrix A. And it's also the other way around, so we can also do A or 1 times A, and that will also equal A. The second property that we have that I think we use the most often in this class is A times the inverse of A is equal to the identity. We use this one a lot when we're solving our equations. We use it kind of as our division. So yeah. Okay. And then the next thing we need to talk about is how to find that inverse matrix so that we can get to the identity matrix. So just remember that we have the determinant of A or whatever matrix you have. And usually it's denoted just DET and then whatever the letter of your matrix is. And that is equal to AD minus BC if you have matrix where it looks like this. A, B, C, D. And then just to find your inverse matrix, you will take 1 over your determinant, and then you will swap the D and the A, and then you will change the signs of B and C. Essentially, this becomes scalar multiplication, and then you will have the inverse. So a good way to check to see if you have found the correct inverse is to just use this property right here. It's a good way to check to make sure that you have the correct inverse. You can also just use the calculator. Remember that we only taught you to find inverse matrices for 2x2 matrices by hand. So if you have a 3x3 matrix, use your calculator because it gets long and complicated. So yeah. Okay, and then for solving equations, we have these properties right here. I think the only one that I really want to talk about are the ones that I have in pink there from last time we talked about these. Remember that it matters what side of the your inverse matrix goes on. I think that's the biggest thing I want to talk about, which isn't on here. So when you have a matrix, say you have matrix A, and then your variables NA equals matrix B. When you find matrix A, you want to make sure to multiply on, or the inverse of matrix A, sorry. You want to make sure to multiply on the same side of matrix A where the variable is. So because the matrix A is on the left-hand side there, your inverse matrix will also be on the left-hand side. And then that carries through to the other side of your equation. So you have to multiply that matrix on the left-hand side. I know when we solve regular equations, I know I do this, I just kind of put in whatever I'm multiplying by, wherever it will fit. That doesn't work here. So make sure you're multiplying on the correct side. So if you were to have x times a equals b, you would want to make sure that your inverse matrix is on the right-hand side of both b and a. Otherwise, you're going to get funky answers. I'm sure there's a proof out there somewhere if you're bored and want to find that. But I think that's the biggest thing that we need to talk about there. The other thing with solving equations is they work pretty much the same as all of your other stuff. Just remember that we don't really have division. We use the inverse matrix. Other than that, it works. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I had a couple reminders for calculators just to help you guys. Remember to label your matrices. So if you're given a bunch of matrices in your homework, make sure you label which ones you're putting where in your calculator so that you can keep track of them. But yeah, I think that was the biggest thing I had. So yeah.
Cool. So that's pretty much a summary of what we did during week 2. It was just a lot of solving equations using matrices. So hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of practice with that between doing the stuff from week 2 plus last week when we did solving systems of equations. It basically is just using these exact same properties. So hopefully this wasn't too much of, I don't know, too difficult to understand. It should have been a pretty good refresher. Yeah, so like Miss Markert said, if you have any questions on calculator operations, go back and watch our older videos. We can go over anything during our live stream on Thursday, but my computer that I'm using right now for this does not have that TI-83 or 84 emulator on it, so I can't pull it up and show you guys the different calculator functions. So just go back and rewatch the older videos so you guys can get the calculator kind of down. There's also tons of videos online that'll go through how to do matrices in the calculator if that's something that you're still having problems with. But that is it for today. We will see you guys tomorrow for our last video, really, of the whole school year. Tomorrow's gonna be our last one. And then we'll see you guys for the live stream on Thursday. So, now I gotta open up the screen and close the video. It's not working very good today, guys. Microsoft Teams is not being very user-friendly, and Zoom is broke. So
Yep.
it is what it is. Anyways, we will see you guys tomorrow for our last video, and then we will see you on Thursday for the live stream.
Bye, guys.